Show here. As you can see, the race has already started without me. I was working on a fellow racer's car here. And in the meantime, as you can tell, the race has started. Nonetheless, Gabriel Kirtley starting on purple, Amani Baxter on orange, Jay Latham on blue, Tom Payton on white, Paul Woosley on yellow, Randy Kirtley on green, and Glenn Burden on red. We just came out of a nice first time running of our preliminaries for the Super Dirt Late model. Pretty much just a little practice race. A bunch of guys had their cars already ready for the series, lockdown gear ratio and everything. You can check out the rules on www.lanesraceway.com. But anyways, they had a nice race. Total wrecks for the race. This is total wrecks for all 8 lanes run. 4 wrecks. That race, I kid you not, you can check it out on our Facebook. I think it might already be posted. But from top to bottom, 10 laps difference from first place to 8th. So pretty close racing, and I think that's the type of racing it's going to be indicative of what's going to come in that series, only being ran in the oval. Everybody loved it. Action Jackson was the one bringing it home with fellow teammate Glenn Burden running one of his teammate cars. Glenn Burden, of course, having 2 super late models. Got Jackson in there at the end. That's Jackson in the upper right-hand portion of your screen there in the pink shirt. He brought home the victory and has done nothing but rub it into the face of his losing crewmates, I guess. Nonetheless, what a race he had. Exceptional race for Action Jackson. As he's going to try to have an exceptional time track marshaling, him and Fast Hands Carson and Wild West in there. And we do appreciate these guys helping track marshal. Like I said, a little bit warm here today at Lanes Raceway. Not too bad. It's just really hot inside of the shop, and I think it's because of our ice maker. Our ice maker really pushing out some heat. But other than that, on the outside there, not too bad where all the racers are. So they're very much climate controlled. 3 fans rolling. Looks like we got a stalled car. Paul Woosley there, yellow, on the high banks portion of the track. Probably wouldn't hurt just go ahead and put him on the straight banks. A lot of these guys get their cars tuned so tight and so close when it comes to their guide flag, they just don't connect there in the high banks. So he should be able to take off with no problems now. Jay Latham out in the lead, 7 total laps, followed by Randy Kirtley with 7 laps. Paul Woosley there with 6 laps. Tom Payton with 6 laps. Amani Baxter dropping down there to 6 laps also with Glenn Burden and Gabriel Kirtley. We get a yellow flag caution. Car crashed under the bridge. Jackson moving the car of Paul Woosley back so that he's able to get his lap there and not get stopped. But a 3-way battle, it looks like, for first place right now between Jay Latham, Randy Kirtley, and Paul Woosley. Jay Latham helped broke into track a little bit earlier while we were running our super late model practice race. And he brought me to the side and showed me how fast his car was rolling. So we get 2 cars involved in the incident. One of them, Jay Latham. Another one looks to be Glenn Burden there. But Jay Latham there running in those 3.2s, he was running that on black lane also, which is very competitive. If you've watched any of our races before, 3.2, 3.3 is about what you see on the black lane being turned, competitively speaking. See Gabriel Kirtley there closest to black lane right now with a 3.344 on purple. And, of course, seeing Jay Latham run a 3.2 on black shows you how fast Jay's car is rolling. I asked him early, and he divulged some information. And I asked him, I said, well, what's making your car go so much faster? And he said, he just moved a little bit of weight around. And he says it's really hooking now. So excited to see that he's doing well with his car. right, looks like we are live to be able to chat on YouTube. If you're in YouTube land, it seems like it worked tonight. Facebook, on the other hand, I just got a message on the internet saying that the API is messed up on Facebook, and it's on their end, so it's not our problem. So they'll have to fix that and give us a later update to be able to speak on Facebook. Now, I've got another program running too, which is live comments too, so that you might be able to still get one through, but I highly doubt it. Twitch, of course, usually just remains always live. So if you're on Twitch and you want to chat, we can see what you're saying here. So keep an eye out for sure. So we got 2 cars coming up there. Fast Hands Carson there was able to get them in a timely fashion there, but nonetheless the track got called anyway. Amani Baxter there with his yellow car. He's got a new Lamborghini out there running with the guys, and it looks like it handles a whole lot better than the green car he had before. Under the bridge there, we got a car off. I believe that's Amani that came off yet again. Monty been in 3 races today. He's been really racking it in. Of course, earlier today, Amani helped the boys out, and there, Weston, there in the upper right portion of your screen there to the left by the horseshoe, ended up getting him a car today as he drew the lucky number. Amani said 70, and he did 74. He had one other guy ahead of him, but he wasn't here today, and Amani wanted to give it to somebody that was here today. So we opted for that, what Amani wanted, being he was the one that bought the car for the kiddos. And I'll tell you what, Wild Weston, if anybody was going to get it and deserve to have one, Wild Weston definitely does. He's always here racing. He's always trying to get better. And I'll tell you what, did pretty good in the preliminary race, the little practice dirt race that we had. And in my opinion, the car that he's got is the best looking caveman body car that we have here today. It's one of the older school model ones where that you have to actually glue the wing on. But I'll tell you what, man, what a beautiful car it is. It's a neon yellow and white with some silver in it, a little bit of black, I believe. It's just a beautiful car. And I'm very pleased and happy that Weston was able to get that. And Jackson, running one of Glenn's super late models too. He's very excited about that class too. So see both of these boys jump up in a class and get into that class. Maybe even also get back into the upcoming GRC class. Now, the upcoming GRC class, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be ran on the orange also, or maybe just the orange. I can't remember what we had decided, but we ran it on the oval this last time, and we might actually run the GRC on the orange. I'm not for sure. We might run it on both. Who knows? Whatever the guys really want, it's what we end up basing everything on. So whatever the guys tell us they like and what they want, that's what we do. Paul Woosley now out in the lead, 45 total laps, followed by Randy Kirtley with 44, Jay Latham 43, Gabriel Kirtley 42, Tom Payton 41, Glenn Burton 37, and Amani 35. Yet again, another one of those scenarios where we're about 10 laps different from first to last here in the first round robin heat. It's kind of refreshing too to have a new type race, and not only just having a new type race, but to be able to give out track books. It's been a bit since we've done track books, and be able to bring track books back was quite exciting. So that was pretty cool. And of course, it wasn't much because we charged half price for the race. Being we was only running 1 minute heats, to be able to get it in and then immediately turn into this race. Basically, we added a race to the race weekend last moment. But everybody had their cars, and they were all over there messing with them. I hated not to run a race, as they were all just tinkering with their super late models before this race. So they all agreed, and we did it. So it was pretty cool. And like I said, I believe it's going to be a real popular series. I don't think I have it in here in this setup, but I can bring it in. Let me just add source real quick, and I'll show you kind of what it's going to look like. So here is like the emblem, like how we usually have in our series towards the bottom of the tracks and stuff like that, to show you what series we're racing. This is it right here. Dirt Late Model Series by Lanes Raceway. You can see the pink wing here, the hot pink wing in the background here. That's to signify who the point leader is for that given week. So every week that could change, and whoever the point leader is, we're going to give them a Lexan wing that they can put on their car, and it's going to be pink. That way, when we're watching the streams and stuff, you'll be able to tell who is the current point leader, and just help us keep kind of track of things like that. And it's more indicative of how real super late models do in their series. I think there's a series, it might be Lucas, I believe, that has a neon orange wing that they use to signify who the point leader is. And it's just a little added touch of realism, and those big dirt heads and stuff like that. It's just a nod to them that, we're thinking about them and want to pay close attention to the details for those guys. Not to mention, like I keep telling you guys, at least for the past couple weeks, I want to get a King's Crown made. We got one in here. It's a Burger King King's Crown that Paul Woosley brought in, but I want to get an actual nice, good made King's Crown here for our Grand Champion and a scepter, so that the next banquet we have when we crown our Grand Champion of Lanes Raceway for the year, we can hit him up with all of the confetti and really celebrate how well he's done. Now, of course, to be a Grand Champion, you're going to have to run in more than just one series. And, of course, we love our fall series. That's when, it's right before tax season. A lot of people wanting tax write-offs, so we do sponsorships on all these races. Not to mention we'll pull sponsorships for the actual race series itself. So we got 3 or 4 series open right now that you can be a sponsor of the whole series. But the NASCAR series is taken. That's taken by Fairview IT. Now, it's called the Fairview IT Cup Series, and that'll be the NASCAR series ran on the oval track. But the Dirt Late Model, Wing Car, GRC, and IndyCar are still all left for grabs. So if you want to name a whole series after yourself or your company, get in contact with us, and we can surely make that happen for you. Not to mention that get your name out there a little bit, as we got a few people that watch our live streams, and not to mention our Facebook page. Paul Woosley there, 89 laps in the lead. Gabriel Kirtley, 87, tied up with Randy Kirtley with 87. Jay Latham there in 4th place with 86, right on the heels. Tom Payton with 80, 69 and 69 at Glenn Burden and Amani Baxter. So, just a spread of about 20 laps here from first to second after our first round robin heat rotation. These guys are keeping it pretty clean and pretty close too. Going to leave you guys here with the current standings as of August the 15th. Of course, we will be updating this either tonight or tomorrow, as we usually do, and we'll get that stuff posted up for you by the latest Wednesday. Don't forget, next week is our last week. We will be having our banquet come the 27th, so definitely come in here on August the 27th if you are one of these racers, whether you're in the Rookie Rumble, Little Rumble, or LMP Thunder, as prizes and cash will be given out. Little Rumble will be for the first 3 places, and also Rookie Rumble will be for the first 3 places. But if you're here, we will announce your name. You will be able to come up and speak on the live stream if you wish, even if you don't make the top 3 places, and let people know what you think about Lanes Raceway. LMP Thunder, of course, all 10 places will get prizes. Definitely come on out here and check it out. We have a blast, and we're going to have a little bit of mutton, I believe, from either Old South or Old Hickory. I think Old Hickory, I think, is what one person really wanted. So I think that's what we're going to end up having. Come on out. We're going to have races, and then after all the races are over, it'll be a pretty late night. But after the races are over, like I said, we're going to have that banquet. But we'll be eating before then. But this is Donovan. I'll see you guys here in about 45 seconds. All right, folks, I am back, and we got an under-bridge call by Tom Payton, so his car must have came off. Paul Woosley out in the lead by 1 lap, followed by Gabriel Kirtley and Randy Kirtley. Jay Latham right there on the heels, though, wanting to get in that top 3 podium finish tonight. 1 lap down, just going to have to keep her in there and hang in and hope that one of them wreck. Tom Payton there, 85 laps, having a little bit more issues here tonight as we glued the track. Maybe his car not performing as well as it was Thursday night. But we'll see as the track gets drove in a little bit more and more. Car hard hitting to the high side wall there off of green. That's Glenn Burden with 77 total laps. Amani Baxter there tied up with him down at the bottom with 77 total laps too. But Amani up high there on the high portions of the track. We see Amani there at the upper portion of the donut there. Today, trying a little something new here. And you know me, I love a brisky. That's what I call them. The lemon tea brisks. Call them briskies. Well, I got a new brisky favorite now, folks. And here it is. See that? Brisk. Juice drink. Fruit punch. Pretty good. Now, is it on the same level as like Hawaiian Punch? It's pretty close, but it ain't Hawaiian Punch. But nonetheless, this is my favorite brisk currently. Got some downright strange-looking art on it, though. I don't know why they put all that weird stuff on there, but nonetheless, it's got like, I mean, this will kind of crack you up. Like, there's somebody like peeking through the bushes at you. Check this out. Isn't that weird? Like, how would you like to be this person down here, like walking, minding your own business, and then somebody's up there in a bush, like peeking at you? Like, I mean, the artists on some of this stuff nowadays, like even the Mountain Dew cans, it's kind of weird. But nonetheless, it's a pretty good drink. As you can tell, the GIFs are gone off of the live stream here, but the words are still there. For some reason or another, every time I load this up, they're gone. I end up having to go through a whole big stage of doing it. That's why I told you guys and gals earlier that I just need to redo the whole thing for the next series, and I will. But this will get us through till next week, and then I'll do a revamp again. We'll get it all up in 4K at 60 frames. We're now at 1080p 30 frames like we was at the very beginning on the old computer. I just transferred all this stuff over, but the weird thing is, even though the position of where all this stuff is located on the desktop is the same. I mean, all the way down to the exact name, Lanes Raceway. For some reason or another, it does not load it in. So it's just going to have to be all redone. Not a big deal. With this computer the way it is, what a blessing it's been. Thankful for, all of our racers coming and racing, making us enough money that we can actually afford nice things to be able to do these good streams, and really super excited. Cannot wait, to be honest with you, for the next series, that when we start the new stream in 4K, how exciting that's going to be. And I want to add some new cameras. I've been checking out some Wi-Fi cameras. What I've been mostly seeing, though, with the Wi-Fi cameras is that the battery life on them is just no good. And I ain't seeing like a whole lot of, good alternatives when it comes to like quality, or I don't know. The quality on these are not bad for what they are. They're IP cameras, but nonetheless, I want something that we can really pick out the details and pick out the smoothness of these cars. Like, I love the way the GoPro views these cars and captures some of that smooth detail and is able to keep the frames per second high enough that it's smooth in transition, and you get those higher frames per second, making the cars actually followable for the most part. The problem is GoPros, man, they just are horrible about overheating. So I think what we might do, if we can come across the money, now of course my guys matter to me most. So right out of the gate, I got to make sure that their payouts are good come next Sunday, and that they get a good payout for all their hard work racing here and their dedication here to Lanes Raceway. But after that, if we have any like $300 or $400 or something like that left over, first off, got to buy a printer. Got to print the rules out for the next series. But then after that, if we have another $300 or $400 laying around, I plan on getting one of those Osmos 3s. And we get that. I heard it doesn't overheat. We could set that baby up. Or I've been looking at 360 cameras that we can set up too and get them hooked in. And the good thing about those is we can remote into them. Now, they might have just a little bit of a delay, but the quality would be so much better that you guys probably wouldn't even notice the delay, you know. So, and when I say delay, we're talking about like an eighth of a second or so. So it's not too bad. And you could check it out, and, you know, the details of the cars will be better. You could, you know, look around 360, whatever you want to do, pan through. I don't know. You guys let me know something maybe in the comments or under a Facebook comment or something. If you got ideas for something that captures fast moving objects, good. I've even looked into object tracking cameras. And you can get these little stands that you put cameras on, and it tracks people, but I don't know if they attract objects. So, you know, we would have to have one that attracts objects, or tracks objects, I'm sorry. And that's, and we just toyed around with drones earlier. We were talking about getting these little micro drones and tying them to like kite string and pulling it tight around the track inner loop, and then just flying a drone following cars. The only problem there is that's going to take a lot of mental capacity, probably 100% laid at my feet. So the commentation would definitely go down while I'm trying to fly this drone, because I'll assure you, back in the day, I used to fly radio control airplanes. You can talk to Michael Hazlip about this. Bought it day one, took it down there to the Ball Diamond, flew that baby, and there was like one power line in this whole field. And wouldn't you believe it, I hit it, sliced my wings, and that baby come crashing to the earth. You know, you put a flying object in my hands, and I'm probably going to put your eye out. So I don't know if something that's not automated would be a good idea here for Lanes Raceway. But hey, you know, maybe we can get in touch with Flow Media. Maybe we can get one of their little drone pilots to come down here and fly a drone on one of our major nights or something. That'd be pretty cool. As we went to the North-South 100 a couple weeks ago, and I'll tell you what, man, them drone pilots know what they're doing. They are good. But yeah, definitely a skill to acquire. I might try to learn it eventually, maybe in my older age, something of a hobby to get into. Of course, I always like these little motors and RC cars, or slot cars for that matter. So tinkering with that kind of stuff's always fun. Wouldn't be bad to have a super fast quadcopter. You never know. Things could go from bad to worse really quick. If you got a quadcopter with I don't know, some sort of ammunition attached to it, you know, might come in handy. Who knows? I don't even know if that's illegal. It probably is, but anyways, you see it in video games. But back to the race, Paul Woosley holding it by one lap to Gabriel Kirtley. Gabriel Kirtley right on his hips, though, as he's really wanting to reel Paul in. Randy Kirtley, he's there on the same lap as Gabriel Kirtley, and Jay Latham putting up a fight, trying to stay in the mix, too, as he's only about 4 laps down from Randy. Tom Payton, about 10 laps down from Jay, and, you know, about 7 or so laps down from Glenn. Or Glenn's about 7 or so laps down from him. 1 lap separates Glenn from Amani. Both of those guys battling it out. We get a car hiccup there on the horseshoe there on black. That's Gabriel Kirtley. He gets put back in, but we get a yellow flag quickly as we see several cars coming off there. It's kind of interesting to see Paul Woosley's car on camera there in the horseshoe. It just looks like green, red, and yellow. But in actual reality, folks, that car is like fluorescent colored. And it's funny to see it that the camera cannot pick up fluorescent colors for some reason. And we get a car coming off on the backstretch there, getting put back on white. That's Amani's. He got a little bit of a whiplash done to him by car below him, or maybe it was above him. Maybe it was Tom. I don't know. Somebody was roughhousing. That happens in these higher ranks here. A lot of roughhousing, a lot of fun. We got a bridge call yet again. We see Carson, Quick Hands Carson, getting in there. Dana Durham done what I need to do, get a haircut. This hair is wild, folks. I mean, I look like I've been out on the open range for about 4 or 5 weeks. Take the old buzzers to it, I guess. Just can't ever seem to find time to go to wherever it may be to get my hair done. I usually go to Sports Clip there in Owensboro and get it done, but man, I can't ever find the time to do it. What a little bit of a battle Gabriel and Randy are having as they swap back yet again. Gabriel from second to third and Randy back into second, fighting Paul Woosley. Paul Woosley and Randy Kirtley really, really close together with 14 laps left to go. These top 3 racers here are out for blood. And, you know, it's good to see Jay back up in there battling with Gabriel as they, you know, used to have somewhat of a rivalry going back on the NASCAR days. And now we can see they're just 4 laps difference from one another, too. So it's exciting to see what may happen as we progress through this race and how close it could be. Of course, in the next series, the power's in the racers' hands, folks. All these track marshals you see here trying their best to get these cars put back on in a timely fashion. Sometimes it happens. Here's the weird thing. Sometimes, like, they get everybody's car on nice and easy, and then other people, they have a hard time getting their cars on. And that's the problem, folks. That's a variance, I guess you would say. So sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. Well, this does irritate racers, okay? So we don't want to irritate our racers. We love our racers. So we're putting the power into their hands. So if their car comes off, which is their fault or isn't their fault, whether they get wrecked or not, it doesn't matter. It's still their fault, okay? They are given the option to hit the track call button. Now, there is a 0.5 second delay, so they're going to have to wait that long for the track to get killed. But when it gets killed, they can put their cars back on and continue racing, putting that power into their hands. So that's what we want to do. We want to make them as happy as we can. We've been back and forth with this quite several times, but, you know, this just pulls the track marshals completely out of it. I've went through Ghost. I went through that. I went through what we're doing now. And I think this is the best thing to do so that everybody can take care of their own stuff. Paul Woosley in the lead, 178 laps, followed by Randy Kirtley with 177. Gabriel Kirtley, 176, and Jay Latham right there within 3 laps now of 173 laps. Tom Payton, 161. He's a little bit back. Glenn Burden and Amani Baxter having their own little battle here within 1 lap there for last position. 71.5 and 71 respectfully there on average. I'm going to leave you guys here with the current standings as of August 15. Be back with you in about 1 minute and 43 seconds. Carson down. I had to ask his mama, though. This dude's coming in. He's usually lightning hands out there on the donut track, ladies and gentlemen. But we kind of made a rule. Wild kids not allowed energy drinks here at Lanes Raceway. Love me or hate me, but, man, y'all ain't got to be around some of these kids. I'm telling you, sometimes they get an energy drink. They are climbing walls, folks. But he did come in there, and he was a little bit down. Man, looks like his sugar's low. I don't know. But I told him, I said, hey, ask your mama. If she says you can get you an energy drink, I will sell you one. You know how kids are with sugar. They get a little wild every once in a while. But anyways, I believe he did get the okay. He's going to get him a peach bang, Georgia peach bang. Not bad. I'm not real big on sugar-free stuff, but their stuff ain't too bad. I've had it before going and playing airsoft, so it's pretty decent. Randy Kirtley now on the lead. Paul Woosley drops to second position there with 182. Randy Kirtley there with 183, turning 6 laps so far, respectfully. Gabriel Kirtley, 182. Last time he came, he told everybody he was going to beat Paul Woosley. And, of course, Paul Woosley came back and just beat everybody. So maybe he's trying to make up for something from back in the day. Who knows? Jay Latham now within 3 laps to Gabriel Kirtley there with 181. Tom Payton down to 168, about 12 or 13 laps behind. Glenn Burden there 152 and Amani 150. So we get a loud yell, track call underneath the bridge. Everybody wrecking under the bridge tonight. Maybe it wouldn't hurt just to take a little bit of time, slow that baby down. That's just me talking, though. One thing's for sure, I do love seeing the guys go side by side through the S-turns, especially in a big group and not wreck. It's something cool to see. If you're here and you're live and able to see it live, it's on another level. Randy Kirtley, of course, in the lead, and Paul Woosley getting his car put back on in the backstretch there with 193, tied up with Gabriel Kirtley, as they are neck and neck here, folks. Gabriel Kirtley on yellow, trying his best to reel in Paul Woosley. So we get a car come off the track there and a yellow flag for Jay Latham. Weston kind of confused on where to put the car. This happens when you're a young track marshal, but this is also why we are moving away from track marshals here at Lanes Raceway, and we are putting that power in the racers' hands in our next upcoming series. So here it is, folks. You will have the ability to stop the track in the next coming series, and there will be no reason why you shouldn't win now, or we hope. There is a problem in racing, and it's been there since the very inauguration or the very beginning of racing in general, since the very first race that ever was held. And that problem is this, folks. There's only one person that wins, and that's the truth. Everybody else loses. So to be a winner requires dedication. To be a winner requires just a sense of control, and it requires so much. As we see Paul Woosley get completely tossed through the track. Paul Woosley's car from the exit of the donut to the exit of Horseshoe, getting completely tossed all the way through the track. But he finally gets his car put back on white as we hear Glenn Burden yell out, "Get out of the way, Paul." So everybody has now got Paul in their sights. As we get a car come all the way from the top, that's Jay Latham's car flying to the top, getting involved in an incident from a car, I believe to be Randy Kirtley's. Both of these guys want to take a look at their cars, as that was a hard hit, folks, coming through the high banks there, a little bit of floating action. And the deal is, if you're running one of those chassis like what Randy Kirtley has in the bottom right hand of your screen, that is a Mid-America Gemini chassis. The center section, as you can tell, is very, very thin. If it takes a hit like that, you better make sure that thing bends back, because if you don't, you fixing to have a messed up car that don't handle. So that's why Randy Kirtley's taking a look at that. Of course, every one of our racers gets 30 seconds to mess with it. Randy Kirtley, of course, going to bring his car outside of the high banks to make sure that it has connection. We can see Randy Kirtley in the lead right now with 209, tied up with Gabriel Kirtley, and Paul Woosley falling down a lap. Interesting to see how close of a battle we have in our top four here. Jay Latham, 203, 208, 209, 209. These guys not coming off. These guys rushing real hard. Very exciting to see. We get a track call yet again. 2 minutes and 52 seconds into this race. Coming up next, we have our Rookie Rumble, as we always do on Sundays. And that's a GRC race. These kids, of course, battling it out. Jay Latham, our current leader there in the Rookie Rumble by a couple laps to Jackson. Jackson coming off of a fresh victory, though, from the previous race, the dirt late model. Him and Weston just excited as can be about the upcoming series in October. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold themselves together for a month to wait on everything to get put together. Of course, during that month, folks, we clean the tracks back to new, making them nice, shiny, and beautiful. And, of course, we go through the whole track. I wipe down all the walls. I wipe every ceiling tile down. T, of course, she helps me. We clean everything back to as good as it can possibly be. Then, of course, we get the big checks made and have those posted up so everybody can see them all season long. And, we get everything set up for that series. It takes some time. So we do take a month off. And then, of course, me and my wife like to have us a little bit of time. We're going to take a little bit of time, 3 or so days, and go to Mammoth Cave at the end of the month. And I don't think we're going to shut down during that time, but I do think we're going to have people in here. So work in the shop while we do that. Nonetheless, excited to do that, excited to keep this place nice. Here's the thing, folks. What you don't understand is with all these guys running these cars, and they're just, you can't see it because it's like a vapor. But when they run over that glue, it just throws a mist in the air. It's like a vapor mist of glue. That stuff gets over everything. It gets on the pinball machine glass. It gets everywhere. And if we don't clean every single day, like, the dust would just run you out of this place. That's why when you walk into most slot car places, there's a lot of buildup of dust everywhere. And it's because all the glue that they run on the track, that stuff just gets thrown everywhere. We end up having to take naphtha to our air conditioner about once every 2 weeks and spray the filter down because it's got glue in it. But nonetheless, that's part of the things of being an owner of a slot car track. You just got to keep up on that kind of stuff. Nobody likes to sit in a mess. I know for a fact I cannot stand it, especially when I'm away from home. When you're at home, you kind of sit in somewhat of a mess. That ain't too bad because it's your own mess. But when you go out somewhere, you definitely don't want a nasty place. So pride ourselves on keeping things clean here. We have some of the cleanest bathrooms that you'll ever know. Like, we got several different things you can wash your hands with. If you don't like washing your hands, we got sanitizer, okay? Either way, use one of them, please. Not to mention that we have regular good, like Charmin-style toilet paper, the thick stuff. We got the cheap stuff for those that use wet wipes. And the reason why you'd want to use that versus a Charmin is don't clog the toilet up, okay? Because I don't think we have a plunger. But you just need something to dry up with. You got the thin toilet paper for that. I personally use wet wipes. I like to have a clean spot back there. I like to be clean. And I think that makes me feel cleaner. It smells fresher. But nonetheless, we got that. Nice clean bathrooms and everything. That's both man and female bathrooms. The only thing I really don't like about the building that we're in is where our power outlet or breaker box is. Our breaker box is back there on the back wall in the ladies' bathroom. So I have to end up taking a poster down and all kinds of stuff whenever we have breaker strip. It's a pain in the neck, especially during a storm. When a storm happens, we trip out breakers all the time. So, you got to take all that stuff down. It's annoying. And then, of course, there's holes in the back wall outside, so that stuff leaks through when it I don't know where the holes are that people have been drilling into the back wall, but I mean, I'm sure if we hired somebody that would charge me an arm and a leg, they could probably find it, but I ain't going to. I'll just soak it up with a towel and we'll move on. Never hurt nobody. But it does ruin posters, and then you have to end up replacing the posters every once in a while. Randy Kirtley there in first place, 251 total laps, followed by Gabriel Kirtley with 250. Paul Woosley right there on their heels, 249. Jay Latham bringing it up the pack here, 245. He's 4 laps down from Paul Woosley. He's trying to bridge that gap and get that podium finish tonight. Tom Payton, 229. Glenn Burton, 213. And Amani Baxter, 203. So some pretty good racing here going on tonight, folks. All these guys just really racing with heart, as we can tell. 50 laps separates first from the very bottom. But, not a lot of wrecks taking place here tonight. A lot of track calls. But these guys are wanting to race hard. They're wanting to race passionate here these last few times. We see 2 cars coming off here. Paul Woosley and Amani Baxter, they both get their cars put back on. We'll see how things develop, but it's tight. It's tight between Randy Kirtley and Paul Woosley. Gabriel Kirtley doesn't have all 8 of his races, so he might need this race and another one, if I'm not mistaken, to be able to get his full 8. We can kind of take a quick peek over there and look real quick. Gabriel Kirtley, of course, has 6 races, so he has to race this race and the next one to even be considered for prizes. And that was the rule, folks. So last couple series that we've done that, you just come in and pick up your prizes whenever you want. We even did something like if you didn't show up to the banquet, you didn't get your prizes. None of that stuff works, okay? Because I end up holding substantial amounts of money in this shop, which I do not like doing, by the way. I like to keep my register a certain amount that it's not going to kill me if we get robbed. Anyways, we're holding all that kind of people's money after the banquet and stuff. That was why we made some rules to be like, you either get it that night or, it's going in the register and we're depositing it, But that didn't work. It upset people. So we moved on to another thing. And now here we are again, trying something different. Well, this is it. If you don't get the 8 races, you just don't get nothing, right? Because you've had plenty of time. You've got 3 months to do 8 races, and we do 2 races a week. So you got plenty of time to get that done. Nonetheless, you don't get it. I hate it. I hope you had fun racing. You still get a T-shirt, okay? That'll be coming in. We'll hold that for you for sure. Everybody in our Pro Series gets a T-shirt. Right now, Randy Kirtley out in the lead, 266. Gabriel Kirtley, 264. Paul Woosley, 263. Jay Latham, 259. Tom Payton, 242. Glenn Burton, 225. And Amani Baxter, 213. But even though, let's say that you don't finish all those races, being that you did continue over career-wise into another series from one previously, you'll still get $25 from us as a continued career appreciation from Lanes Raceway. But the best thing to do is just finish your races. It's not much. We rely on you to finish those races to be able to do the payouts that we are able to make some money, and you guys are too. So it doesn't look like there's going to be too much of a problem here. Amani says he's got 5 races. I thought he had more than that. But either way, he comes here. He is really good for the track, helps us out. Like I said, he just loves racing. This is one of his good retiring hobbies. I don't think he's really too worried about the money. Gabriel Kirtley, Guillermo, and Clay Dame, of course, are the only other ones that doesn't have their 8 races. And like I said, all these guys, for the most part, I don't think really care so much about the money as they just love hanging out with the guys and racing. But it just keeps us from having a lot of money stored here in the shop. So, that's why I'm really encouraging you guys and gals now, if you don't mind, please be here next week so that we can hand you the money and we don't have to worry about it. Of course, next week being our banquet for all of our racers, whether it's Little Rumble, Rookie Rumble, or LMP, and all the stuff will be given out and interviews done. We'll be back with you here in about 30 seconds. Monty getting back to his car. The race already started. Oh, no, actually, Monty's loading up, folks. I guess he's going to make that long trip back to Louisville. We see Monty do this quite often. He wants to make sure he's on the road before it gets dark. I can't say that we blame him there, but coming up this fall for sure, it's going to be pretty good for Monty, as we're going to have several more races early on, at least 2 or 3 more races. So that's going to be good for him to come in then. Right now, of course, this being that we only got 3 series, he was able to race 3 races today, or 2.5. But he's going to go ahead and back off, it looks like, here on this series, and hopefully he says bye before he leaves. But we do appreciate Amani definitely today. Thankful for Amani and how much that he loves these kids and appreciates them. It means a lot to these kids, believe it or not. Around this area, I know for a year, and now we got something that he wanted to do a giveaway for one of the kids. We had talked about it a little bit. I guess he is rolling on it. I guess he's really needs a row. But I'll see him next time. It's just a beautiful thing. Love to see our kids develop into good racers, good men, and we definitely going to teach them the best we can around here. So, these guys, I want them growing up tough and strong. That's why I got taught. I guess I'm not really strong or nothing like that, but I guess I am tough. Never really took nothing from nobody. But these kids, they do hold a special place in my heart, for sure, as I love them around there. They say some of the darndest things, and they're starting to develop into some pretty good competitors, for sure. I'd like to see some of these guys one of these days, whenever I'm sitting back on Flow Media. I'd like to see some of these kids, they get a little bit older, maybe we'll see them on TV racing dirt cars or something like my brother did. That would be excellent. And then, in the winter times, come down to Lanes Raceway and still race some slot cars and be like, I remember when I started racing. I started racing right here at Lanes Raceway. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to hear when I'm an old man, because, I never couldn't have any kids. So, these are my kids essentially. And, they do. They just hold a special place in my heart. I love these kids. I love the adult kids too. Don't get me wrong. Me and Glenn, man, we are thick as thieves. We hang out all the time down here. We're playing pinball or we're watching some dirt race on Flow Media or whatever it may be. We're down here hanging out, and Dad too. He's in the mix. Paul's down here in the mix. Tom. It's every day with us guys for sure. But that just shows you what kind of racers that we are. Now, of course, it's your job, it's your career to be down here. I said, I think of it like this. Why do you think I chose this as a career? I didn't choose it because I hated it. I chose it because I love slot car racing. I love pinball. I love being around people, and I like being around social type things. Plus, I love air conditioning, and I love heat in the winter. Where I was working at previously, it never failed. If it was cold outside, I was outside. If it was hot outside, I was outside. There was never a time that I wasn't fighting some sort of element. And I'm not saying that, there's anything wrong with that. You got to have guys that'll do it. But, it was good for a bit. We'll say that. After that, you just kind of get tired of it, and you just want to live and do what you want to do. And, Lord made a way that this was able to happen. And I thank the Lord for it, and it's gave me a lot more opportunity to take ever how much time I want to talk to people about the Lord. Last night, me and Glenn sat in here, and we just talked about how good God was to us. And I tell you, the Lord Jesus is the best thing that could ever happen to you. I'd be caught sometimes at work talking to somebody about Jesus, and they'd be like, y'all need to do that on your break. But if it's in you, it's in you, if that's who you are, it's hard to not talk about the Lord when you love him. And he's been good to me. I actually got to go to church today, believe it or not, and had a good message there, and I almost felt like my pastor was talking to me Kenneth Frizzell, he's my pastor, if y'all didn't know. But man, I just felt like he was talking to me. He was talking about David in a cave, and how that he was basically running from Saul because Saul wanted to kill him and everything. Y'all know the story. If you don't, it's a good story. Look it up. It's in Samuel, 1 Samuel, so check it out. Nonetheless, sometimes he was talking about how we all kind of go through our cave moments in life where we kind of just feel like we're in a cave and kind of feel like everybody's against us and, nobody loves you type stuff. And I go through that sometimes, and I'm always striving to make everybody like me. But my wife, she's always telling me, you can't make everybody like you. You just can't do it. And I hate that I can't because I love people, and I love being around them. If I didn't, I definitely wouldn't be doing this. But I will tell you this. I was only liking to be around friends and stuff for the most part whenever I was younger, and doing things I ought not. Paul some tires? Yeah, what kind? Okay. Folks, we'll be right back with you. We're going to have a little pause moment. Be right back with you. Well, hopefully Paul's not out right there, and I hope he's still turning laps, and he is, so that's good. But he wanted a set of fresh tires, fresh meats. I know what he likes. He likes the 760 big boy 550 hubs. So, and that's from Mid America, the carbon hubs. So, got him set up with some of those. Sorry about my indigestion here. I probably drunk that too fast, stood up a little bit too hard. Whew. Getting to me. Minute and 5 seconds left to go. Guys, I'm going to leave you right here. I'm going to get me a little something else to drink. And I'll probably see you when the next heat starts. All right, racers, watch your lights. All right, here we go. So the racers back from their pit institution. They done a stint for sure, ladies and gentlemen. 5 of 8 is our heat. Supposed to be starting our rookie rumble race here very, very shortly. Of course, Monty Baxter out of the race. So we got several cars having incidents here. One of them there on the front stretch coming off. Sometimes these races run a little bit over here tonight. We are having one run over. But thank goodness the temperature is coming down a little bit here in Livermore, Kentucky. And Lanes Raceway also having the temperature come down a smidgen. Just talking about the sad state of Hawaii and the disaster that rode through there. Pretty horrible situation there. Pray for those people for sure. Somebody was telling me that somebody wanted to turn their place into an I-city or something. They, as residents there, natives, didn't want to do that. So that's why all that stuff happened. Now, whether or not that is the truth, I don't know. But I've seen crazier things in this world. Nonetheless, sad state of affairs on that whole state for sure. Now they're saying someplace in San Diego is getting a storm like it's never had before. But I just think it is waxing worse and worse out there, folks. So keep your eyes on the skies. The Lord's coming soon. Jesus does love you. Believe and trust in him. Everything will be okay. 4 minutes and 12 seconds left to go. Randy Kirtley in first place. 368 total laps, followed by Gabriel Kirtley, 365. Paul Woosley, 360. A bit there. Jay Latham, of course, his car is kind of slowing down a smidgen too. 355 there in fourth place. Tom Payton there, 340. Glenn Burton, 317. Fast Hands Carson there. He's got him a fresh Georgia Peach Bang drunk. Them hands are back to super speed again. We'll see if he can keep the jitters down whenever he goes get into his next circle track race at the Rookie Rumble. T there, of course, helping track marshal there at the S portion of the track. Do appreciate my wife helping. Of course, all these kids helping. Appreciate them too. I know they're excited, getting ready to join into the Rookie Rumble coming up next. We are on round robin 5 of 8. Several wrecks in this race so far. Maybe the guys got used to no glue last week on Thursday, and I put a couple dabs all the way through the track where I usually put it, and it looks like they're struggling here a little bit today. Looks like Jay Latham's car there in the high banks kind of slagged down a little bit. Glenn Burton going over there and kind of lift him up a smidgen. Or actually just bring him around to the front stretch there so he connects pretty good. Oh, welcome back, folks. Randy Curley out in the lead, 396. He's running off and leaving people now, folks. Paul Woosley, 388 in second. Jay Latham, 382. Gabriel Curley, 377. What happened? He's completely done, folks. Looks like he's packing up, ready to go home. Something happened. Couldn't tell you what it is. Maybe we'll get a little word from him after the heat to see what's going on here, because he was running for second. Jay Latham there, 387. Tom Payton, 371. And Glenn Burton, 349. Actually, I'm going to get a word from him now. We got 2 minutes left. You guys watch the race. Be right back with you. Gabriel Kirtley, word with you. What exactly is going on here? You're bowing out of the race?
Well, I hit the wall and it bent the car in half, and it's broke.
Oh, so you broke it. What'd you do? Strip a gear, mess the tire up?
No, it bent the frame in half when I hit that wall right there. It jumped out. It basically bent the car.
Somebody hit you, or did you just come out from the non-blip?
Jumped out from the track.
Non-blip. All right, man. Well, we were just wondering in there. We were all watching the stream, and it's like, man, he's gone. Like he was running up there in the front runnings up there with Randy Kirtley. Now all of a sudden, just completely disappeared off the map. Looks like Jay Latham's going to prevail today over you. I know you are somewhat of rivals there, and I know you and Paul too. It's like everybody is a rival with you. You had them there for a bit, but now the tables have turned.
Well, when you hit the wall, it bends it, and there ain't nothing to do about it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Gemini chassis, folks, very weak in the center sections. Nonetheless, even though they are weak in the center sections, if they do take a hard enough hit, it will put you out of contention, at least for that week. .55 seconds left to go in round robin 5 of 8. Randy Kirtley, your current leader right now, 429 laps, followed by Paul Woosley, 418, Jay Latham, 412. So far, pretty good, smooth race. Jay Latham having an exceptional race here tonight. Let's see if I can pull the clipboard over here. Just take a quick glimpse at some of Jay's times here. But I can already tell tonight he's going to be running up some of his better times. So the lowest we've seen Jay run was a 313. And, of course, that's since been replaced. The highest we've seen Jay run is a 651. And that was just Thursday. So, or the 13th, I'm sorry. So, like I said, we're already looking here with 3 more heats left to go, somewhere running around 80 per lap or per heat. He's definitely going to beat his best time of 651 as long as he keeps racing the way he is. He'll be somewhere around 660, 670 when it's all said and done if he continues going in the rate that he's going. So that's really pretty good laps turned for sure, and definitely a replacer for Jay Latham. So that's the end of round robin 5 of 8. I'm going to leave you guys here with the current standings here. But before that, 444 total laps, Randy Kirtley, Paul Woosley, 431, 425, Jay Latham for your top 3. I'm going to leave you guys with the current standings. We'll be right back with you. All right, folks, we got something going on here. 30 seconds left to go in this round robin 6 of 8. Be right back with you probably in the next heat. Just kind of checking in here. I didn't get the green screen out tonight. We're kind of in a rush because we just got back from church. All right, folks, here it is. Round robin, 7 of 8, and a big mug right in your face. You know who that mug is? Fellow racer, Nathaniel Burden. He was in our previous series, and a good buddy of mine used to race down in the basement. Kind of famous here at Lanes Raceway. I think he's going to be getting into the next series, the Dirt Late Model Series. Excited to see him back in the mix. ready to flow with the big boys.
What's so funny?
What's funny, Jackson?
Well, we had a lot of racers, but now look at it. It's only have like 4 racers out of almost like 7. 3 people are gone already.
He is not lying there, folks. 3 people gone. Tom Payton, Gabriel Kirtley, Amani Baxter. All 3 of these guys suffering loss. It just goes to show to you, it ain't over until it's over. Is that right, Jackson?
Yeah, sounds about right.
So on that note, Jackson, coming up in this next race, I know you were kind of downtrodden, a little kicked in the stomach earlier about how Jay's just been spanking you these past couple weeks. Are you going to live by those words? Are you going to come back and give Jay a little what for?
I'm gonna try to come back.
All right. Well, I expect you to do great things today. I want to see some more of that winning spirit like you had earlier today in the dirt late model opening. Am I expected to see something like that?
Possibly if this stomach gets better.
All right, man. Well, I hope your stomach gets better. Get rid of them butterflies before the race, folks, because it's race 30 here at Lanes Raceway. 7:26 in the p.m. We should have already started our rookie rumble. Nonetheless, we are a little bit delayed. Several wrecks taking place here in the L&P Thunder race here tonight. Cars keep popping out, just having a horrible time here. We see Jay Latham popping out there on red lane. Right now, it's bulling down Randy Kirtley, Paul Woosley, Jay Latham, Glenn Burton. Who's next? It's the question at hand. Will we see another racer wreck out completely? Still up in the air here. We'll see. Seems like everybody's wrecking every other heat. Or every other lap, excuse me. But 2 minutes and 37 seconds left on that clock, that beautiful clock. A rough race for L&P Thunder. Probably the worst L&P Thunder race that we've seen this year when it comes to complete demolishing of cars. A lot of people coming off up on the high banks, smashing their car. Gabriel Kirtley, one of them, completely obliterated his car, bent over backwards. Needs himself another car, possibly. Might call him in after the race and see if he's ready to set up and get ready for the next coming series here at Lanes Raceway, whether it be L&P Thunder, IndyCar, Wing Car, NASCAR, GRC. There's so many options here, folks. Come on down. Get in one of these series. You're going to love it. Not to mention all these kids super excited for the upcoming series. When I told them that instead of getting cars for prizes, that they would be getting money in the upcoming series, their eyes lit up like Christmas trees. What they don't understand is they have to finish high enough in the money that it makes it lucrative. So in other words, first, second, or third place is pretty much where you need to be if you want to make money. If you are anything below that, you're pretty much paying out money for the experience of learning how to race. So we see another car coming off there on the front stretch. Or, well, it's the back stretch, pardon me. There on red lane. So we see Garrett there hitting the track button. We're going to be going live. 4 red lights going to drop out to green, and we're going. That's Jay Latham up there on the red lane. right, so folks, there it is, the end of that heat. Right now, Randy Curley in the lead, 614 total laps, 4 laps difference from Paul Woosley. Paul Woosley there in second place with 610. Third place, Jay Latham, 586. It's going to be a pretty close little bout here. Going to leave you with the current standings here as of August 15th. I'll be right back with you for the final heat. All right, folks, what a nail biter we got going on here. Randy Curley, 636 laps to Paul Woosley, 634, and a red flag. A lot of red flags flowing here tonight, folks. It's kind of pushed us into a point of pushing our other races back by about 35 minutes. A lot of track calls here. Everybody's struggling here tonight, folks. Only 4 people left out of the initial 7. pure debacle here at Lanes Raceway. Oh, we got another car come off. That's Glenn Burden getting a little bit of a love touch by Jay Latham. 2 laps separate Randy Kirtley from Paul Woosley. Can he hold him off is the real question here, folks. Three minutes and 4 seconds left to go. 2 laps separates these big haymaking heavyweights, Randy Kirtley and Paul Woosley here at Lanes Raceway. It's boiling down to the wire here, folks. 2 minutes and 52 seconds. A median of 3.40 for Randy and 3.28 for Paul Woosley. Whew, it's going to be close. Literally, Randy Kirtley cannot wreck at all. And Paul Woosley there coming off just then. Definitely did not need to wreck there for Paul Woosley there in the horseshoe. But nonetheless, like I said, he can wreck a little bit. Randy Kirtley is not allowed to wreck whatsoever, or he will be caught with that median of a 3.28, chasing like a shark, Randy Kirtley. Looks like Jay Latham might have came off underneath the bridge there. Randy Kirtley pulling the moves from out in the old book of professionalism. Just kind of biding his time, running a decent median there. Not too fast, but not too quick. Just enough to keep his car on and stay ahead of Paul Woosley. He doesn't want to have to push until he has to push. Basically the same thing that happened with Paul Woosley Thursday night. He did the same thing to Randy. We're seeing this again here, but Randy's doing it to Paul Woosley now. Just back and forth right-hand haymakers every other time we have a race. These guys are out for blood. Who's going to prevail here? Randy Kirtley, Paul Woosley? I don't know. It's anyone's game here. As we see now with this 1 lap separating the two, actually 1.5 laps, and a track call button screamed loud as a car comes off underneath the bridge. I'm sure both these guys are nail-biting, hands sweating, barely able to pull the controller trigger there on those big, expensive 281 Pro DeFalco controllers here from Lanes Raceway. This is the kind of intensity that we need to see every single race from every racer. And what a race Jay Latham's had tonight here, folks. Fixing to break his record there, 641 laps already. And we still got 1 minute and 41 seconds left to go. Jay Latham's got that car going in the right direction now. He's got that baby hum-dinging. Randy Kirtley and Paul Woosley, though, man, I'm nervous for both of them. I'm kind of a little bit jittery over here, just wondering who's going to take home the win here tonight. Both of these guys deserve that win, so we'll see who has the most constitution to be able to leak it out here at the final few minutes of this big LMP Thunder race. They are right there, 2 laps exactly apart. You can see them both turning laps identically, one after another. 677 to 675. 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go, and a car comes off and rides a little. I think it was Jay Latham's. He might have rode back in his lane, but no, he's, yep, he did. Jumped out of green and rode right back in green. We call that the Glenn Burden. Glenn Burden does that several times, especially off black. Jay Latham did that perfectly off the horseshoe there. Fly's trying to attack me. Don't forget, here on a hot summer day here at Lanes Raceway, come on in here into the shop and get yourself a nice, frosty, icy, shaved fresh here at Lanes Raceway with your choice of several flavors here. Our most famous and favorite flavor here would have to be Tiger's Blood. Most people love the Tiger's Blood here at Lanes Raceway. There on the back stretch, we see another car coming off. Paul Woosley getting them put back on. That's Randy Kirtley. 50 seconds left to go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps separate. You hear that grinder behind me? That is an icy being formed here at Lanes Raceway. That's how quick it is, folks, for a full cup of ice. Nose itching here. 689, 687, Randy Kirtley and Paul Woosley. If you haven't checked out that picture there on Facebook of my strawberry and cream icy earlier, well, guess what? Somebody did, because we done sold out of strawberry here at Lanes Raceway. What a delicious treat on a hot summer day. We're also out of cream currently here at Lanes Raceway. We will get some more come this next week. What happened, Tom? So on the guide flag, too many turns. So Tom Payton out of the race because of too many turns on the guide flag, causing his guide flag wires to break, not making connection. Is either that or connection to the motor, one or the other. But nonetheless, folks, a sad state for Tom, Gabriel, and Amani tonight, as all three had to back out of the race. Only 4 guys left to go in these final 14 seconds here in this race. Looks like Randy Kirtley is going to be able to bring this baby home tonight, laying another right-hand haymaker on Paul Woosley. We'll see if come next Thursday, Paul Woosley gets to lay that right hand back on Randy Kirtley. It's still 1 lap difference between the two. As we can see, 701, 700 is the difference, folks. What a race. What a beautiful race. Randy Kirtley, first place, 701 laps. Paul Woosley, second place, 700 laps. Jay Latham, 669, third place. Congratulations to all 3 of these guys. What a great turn of events for Jay Latham, having a successful, good run there with his car. Kind of slowing down there towards the end, having a little trouble there on red, but what a great race for him. Glenn Burden there, 620. Tom Payton, 424. Gabriel Kirtley, 377. Amani Baxter, 213 to round it up, folks. I'm going to leave you here with the current standings. Wife's going to go out and get a picture made. Actually, let's see if we can get that on camera here. See her getting ready there in front of the podium. Randy Kirtley, Paul Woosley, and Jay Latham, we need your picture in front of the podium. They're going to line up, get ready in front of the podium. While they're doing that, you're going to see this top left portion of the screen change as I am going to be setting up for the next race. Did you get everybody? Oops. All right, folks, you've seen the picture taking there from Randy, Paul, and Jay Latham there for your top 3 here on this L&P Thunder race, August 20th, 2023. That's all we have for you here at Lanes Raceway for this showing of the L&P Thunder Series race. Catch you guys back here Thursday for the next one. Coming up next, we're going to stop this stream and start a new one. It's going to be our Rookie Rumble.